Welcome to another parent-teacher video lesson from the earlygiftedmanual.com, a free website for homeschooled children 3 to 7 years old and their parents that promotes and develops giftedness at an early age. I am Gary Blank, the creator of that site, and your host and facilitator for this video and all of the videos in my educational program. As the video lessons are designed to work in conjunction with the program on my website, I ask you to, at some point, click on the URL link in the description box below, and this action will take you to the earlygiftedmanual.com. By doing that, you will be able to put this lesson and all of the video lessons here on my channel in the proper context of the total program that I am presenting to you and your child. And welcome everyone to lesson 59, and this is a video lesson on how to complete a jigsaw puzzle. So you will be working with your child, giving them some strategies and other good ideas for putting together jigsaw puzzles. And just a couple notes here before we actually get into the lesson. I'm working off the mic in the camcorder. I don't have my clip-on mic because it proved difficult to move around with that on the floor. So I hope that the sound quality is adequate for you. And I also wanted to inform you that before you actually start in on the lesson, I would encourage you greatly to go to the Early Gifted Manual and then go to Indoor Play, then Tabletop Play, and finally to a few paragraphs on jigsaw puzzles. And this will give you a good introduction for teaching this lesson. It will tell you a bit about jigsaw puzzles and how to get your child interested in jigsaw puzzles. So by all means, check that out. And the materials you will need for this lesson, you will need any kind of puzzle. Just make sure it's a puzzle that will not be too challenging for your child or too difficult. What I have here is a 48-piece floor puzzle. It's 2 feet by 3 feet, so it's a big one. And kids seem to like bigger puzzles. It's easier for them to manipulate the pieces. This one is called the Fairy Tale Castle, and as you can see, it's rectangular. Although I haven't taken it out of the box yet. And another thing, this is optional but highly recommended, is a puzzle map. And I'm going to go down and pick mine up right now. Bring it up a little closer to the lens here. And as you can see, what I've done here is I've assembled the puzzle, taken a color photo of it, ran that off on a color printer, and then finally I've laminated it. So I have this nice puzzle map that your child can use to help him or her put together the puzzle. Highly recommended. It makes putting a puzzle together much easier, much more logical for your child. So hopefully you will take the time to make one of these up. And let's see, I think for now I'm going to place the map up here. I know it's partially off camera, but I'm limited on space here. There's not much I can do about it. The mechanics of getting all this on video in a reasonable way. And I think the first thing we can do is simply just open up the puzzle box, and I'll do that now. And as you can see, when I open it up, all the other side of the puzzle is stacked up in the box. I'm going to get the top out of the way here. We won't be needing that. And there's a reason for that. And instead of telling you, I will show you. So when you want to put all these puzzle pieces out, it goes something like this. And it's as simple as that. And when we finally put the puzzle away, I'll show you how to put it away so you can get the pieces like that. So now we've got the boxes out of the way. We have all the puzzle pieces in front of us here. And perhaps the next thing you can do is, if you like, I know this puzzle very well, just kind of spread them out a little bit and look through them, get a feel for what the puzzle is like. And then I highly recommend that you pick up the puzzle map, really look that over, excuse me, study it. Look at the things that are happening in the puzzle. There's a section that consists largely of sky. There's a section that consists of just the castle. There's this section down here that's where there's water and some other types of plants and some horses. So pay close attention to those details and show your child how to do that, and it'll make it much easier for him or her to solve the puzzle. So back goes the map, and let's see, what do we want to do first? We want to sort these pieces. Now I know that often, in fact, most of the time, when you see somebody doing a puzzle, they just put out all of the pieces and just kind of go in a haphazard fashion to put the puzzle together. Well, I'm going to propose another way to do this, perhaps a more logical way, and I think it just works better because putting together a puzzle is a task, and many tasks require certain steps. So without preaching about that anymore, I would say that the first thing to do, and of course you're doing this together with your child, or perhaps you're just doing it and your child is watching you and you're trying to get him interested. The first thing you want to do is sort out all of the pieces that have straight edges, and here's one right here, as you can see. So I'm going to do this pile here. Here's another piece with a straight edge. Looks like we have a lot of them on top here. Here's another piece with a straight edge. And here's a piece, no straight edge. We're going to put it over there. Straight edge. Looks like a lot of those are on top. No straight edge. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've sorted all 48 pieces into two piles. Pieces with straight edges, pieces without straight edges. All right, so the first thing, as you can see, first of all, I've sorted all these out, pieces with edges, pieces with no edges that go into the interior of the puzzle. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to work with the pieces that have edges, because in effect what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the whole outside edge of the puzzle first. So let me move these out here. Now we just have the pieces with edges remaining, and this is a great strategy. It's a great strategy to start out by doing the edges, because you already have a great clue as to where the piece goes, particularly the corners. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the corner pieces. And as you can see, I've found the corner pieces, 4 corners of course, and I've placed them approximately where I think they might go, and since I've done this puzzle a lot, I bet I'll be pretty close. But it doesn't matter if they're not that close. As you fill in the puzzle, they'll find their position. So just in case, make sure your child understands what a corner is. And of course, that's where 2 straight lines meet together here. So make sure that he or she understands that, the definition of a corner. So I've got the corner pieces out, and now I'm going to have a look at the map, And I think the easiest place to go next would be to find all these pieces on the top, because you can tell by looking that they're mostly blue with some white. So these should be really easy to find in this pile here. So I'm going to try to find all of the pieces in here with almost totally blue sky. And now, as you can see, not only have I found those pieces that I referred to, but I actually put them in place by following the map here. That was a great aid in doing that. And of course, you and your child can work on that together, or perhaps he or she can handle that task on their own. And in fact, I even found a side piece over here that fit. So you're pretty far along in this puzzle now, and perhaps the next step would be to find another edge, and I would say the next logical place to go would be this bottom edge. So you look at your map here and look at what's there. There's some water, these particular types of plants with the flowers on them. So all of the pieces will have these elements in them. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to sort out those pieces from my stack here and place them in the bottom. And as you can see, I've sorted out those pieces on the bottom edge of the puzzle, and I put them into place. Wasn't too difficult, and it should not be too difficult for you and your child. By working with the map here, I was able to do that, and I even stumbled upon a piece that will make up the sides. And that will be our next step with what remains of our pieces with straight edges. You can now fill in the side edges of the puzzle. And as you can see, I've placed all of the side pieces, and of course that's now I've looked through and sorted and placed all of the pieces with straight edges. So we've defined the rectangle of the puzzle, and now it just remains for you and your child to fill in the interior, which will be admittedly a little more challenging because you no longer have that straight edge to work with that gives you a clue to location. But you do have other clues. And for example, if I were doing the puzzle, I might try to find these pieces in here that still have lots of blue sky on them and maybe a tower or two. That would be my first approach. Then perhaps I'd look for other clues, like, there's a horse there and a horse there, so you can look for those pieces. And then, of course, all of the pieces in here of the fairy tale castle itself. So that would be my strategy. Perhaps yours would be a little different, but at any rate, here we have all of the pieces off to the side here ready to go with no straight edges that go in the interior. And I believe at this point I would sort them, and I would first sort out the ones with the blue and sky and place those. Then perhaps I would sort out the 2 or 3 pieces, whatever it might be, with to complete the horses, and then I'd whatever I had left would be a part of the main body here of the castle, and I put those in. So I'm going to do that right now. And there it is. You and your child have completed the fairy tale castle puzzle, and you've gone step by step and you've solved the puzzle, completed the puzzle by using strategies. So now, of course, it is now time to put the puzzle away. And that also has a protocol. If you want your puzzle to last a long time, of course you have to make it clear to your child that they need to be gentle with the pieces. They can't really throw them around. Obviously, they can't step on them because that will break the pieces. So you can have a little discussion with your child about taking good care of the puzzle. And part of taking good care of the puzzle is to disassemble it properly. So I'm going to move my box in here on the edge, and you could sort of see it. In fact, I may do this here just to help me out. I may shove the whole puzzle over a little bit. Let's see, how does that look? That's better. So you want to disassemble the puzzle. You don't want to do it in any particular order because you want to sort of mix them up as you put them back in. So I might take a piece here and watch what I'm going to do. Remember how we took the puzzle out? Well, I'm going to put the puzzle face down in the box. Maybe I'll take a piece from over here. And as you can see, I'm distributing them throughout the box. If you try to pile them all up in the middle, you won't get the top on. And as you can see, I'm taking these pieces out gently. Kids love to deconstruct things, and I've learned this as a kindergarten teacher. Some kids like to just jump in and start ripping it all apart, and that's how little pieces like this get broken off. So, bring the idea home to your child that gentle, take your time, put the puzzle away in a calm manner. So let's see. Here we go. As you can see, I'm moving all around. I'm distributing the pieces in the box. And as you can see, I placed all the puzzle pieces in the box. Let me move it more in the center here. And well, maybe you can't see because you're looking right down on it. It's not a big pile extending from the box. So we take our box cover, put it on, and there it is. Now it's ready for use, just like we started this whole process out back when I opened the box and turned it over. So once again, make sure your child understands that he or she needs to take care of not only puzzles but all of their things that they use. And if they do that, they'll last a long time. All right, I think the last thing I want to say now is simply that this is a rectangular puzzle. But puzzles do come in other shapes. I have a wonderful puzzle that's circular, and sometimes they have unpredictable edges to them. But I would encourage you to use these same kind of strategies, which is always start by putting together, sorting out and putting together the edge pieces first, and then building in the interior according to the hints that you're getting by looking at your puzzle map, if in fact you've made one. If you haven't, you can always look on the box, but as you can see, the real puzzle map is not very large at all. So I encourage you to use puzzle maps. After reviewing this video, I decided to add on a little bit here. I really didn't talk much about how the interior of the puzzle goes together, what strategies your child needs to assemble the interior of the puzzle. And of course, on the outside of the puzzle, we have these straight lines and even corners here that help your child to orient himself. And in the interior pieces, he doesn't have that clue. It makes it a little bit tougher. So he or she has got to use really two different kinds of clues. And the most obvious one is just the graphic clue. What does the image look like? Let's say your child is looking to put this piece in here. Of course, the first thing he or she has to consider is, well, what does that piece look like? I mean, obviously it's not going to be, let me bring this in here, my map. it's not going to have blue sky in it because it's way down here. It's part of the castle. Or it's not going to have grass or anything like that. So those can be eliminated. So let's say he's fishing around in the pieces for the right piece, and he thinks he's found one that might work. And let's say, of course, I put this out ahead of time. Let's say it's this piece, and he brings it over like this, and puts it right in here, and he's very proud of himself. He's found another piece of the puzzle. Well, you and I know that he hasn't, because if you look close at that, this doesn't match up at all across the lines with what's going on in the other pieces. It doesn't fit very well. And in fact, sometimes I've seen kids pounding, and they will do this, try to fit a piece of the puzzle in. And of course, if it doesn't fit easily, you can tell your child this. If it doesn't fit easily, then it's not the right piece. So what I'm pointing out here is your child may be looking solely at the outline of the piece and not really concentrating on the graphic, but really he or she needs to think about both of those things. So there's a technique for working on the inside of the puzzle, and it's simply called rotation. So let's say your child once again picks this piece, and I'll tell you ahead of time it just happens to be the right piece for here, and he puts it in like this, and you go, well, no, Johnny, look at that. Does that look like the right piece? Look at their spaces there, and this doesn't make any sense here. It goes from this color to this, and the ribbon ends, and you can show him what we call rotation, and it works like this. Let's say if it doesn't work this way, he or she can rotate it, and it doesn't look like it's going to work that way. Rotate it again, and look, now the piece is oriented properly and fits right into the puzzle. So that's a very important strategy and technique that you can teach your child when working on any kind of puzzle, this idea of rotation. So just to review here, we just talked about rotation, and I'll say once again, your child needs to use not just the shape of the piece as a clue, but also the graphic. And as I said earlier in the lesson, of course, it's great to have this map that he or she can refer to, this puzzle map, because that will really help them to choose these pieces, make it a lot easier by looking at the visual clues, the graphic clues that are on the map.